Do you wear a Durag or the waves just show up like that?
Are you single by any chance? Will my PP work at 11% body fat? Serious.
So what do we need to do to grow a YouTube channel?
What do you geek out?
That one's funny, okay. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna burn the bridges. It's Q&A time. I'm here to answer the hard-hitting questions, people. So let's do it. All from you guys, covering topics like how to grow on YouTube, how much money you make, best calisthenics exercises, my relationship status apparently, and a bunch of other like random questions. Honestly, some of these are just like crazy. I'm actually really excited to answer all these. Stuff I wouldn't really talk about normally. First question, what is your dream job and are you mixed? No, I'm white. Yeah, I'd say my dream job's probably like YouTube, but I also kind of want to get into entrepreneurship a little bit. I think it's cool because whether it's a YouTube video or a product that you're selling, you get paid based off of like what you contribute. And whether I make money from it or not, I think that contributions is something that's important. And I kind of want to contribute in my own little way, whatever that is, regardless. It'd be pretty awesome to just, you know, make YouTube videos and sell a product that I really believe in. And since we're talking dreams, I guess I want to like own my own gym. That'd be on my dream list. Not mixed though. It'd be nice to be a light skin, but no, I'm not. Next question. Okay, the 3 most important calisthenic exercises. Push-ups, pull-ups, squats. That's what I would say. How to get into calisthenics being overweight. Any good exercises? Yeah, if you're overweight, just like start with the basics. You know, like you have a little bit more body weight, so it's gonna be a little bit more challenging. But it doesn't mean you can't start now. There's always something you can do. You just gotta find progressions that are right for you. And I got a bunch of those on my channel if you just check that out. You could only choose one, to have a deep 2-hour conversation with your 8-year-old self or your 60-year-old self? It's actually a really good question. I would say I would have the conversation with my 60-year-old self. Because, you know, you're like here where you're at because of the decisions and the things that happened to you in your past. And, you know, in my life, it's like, it's not perfect or anything. And I guess I could give my 8-year-old self some like advice and be like, okay, bro, you're gonna do this, invest in this. But I don't really think he'd pick up on it because my 8-year-old self was kind of an idiot. But if I had the conversation with my 60-year-old self, I just have faith that my 60-year-old self would like steer me right. How long until you started seeing results from working out? Does it take years or is it sooner? I'm asking because I want to start working out, but I get impatient waiting for results. You know, that's a good question because it's like, why would you put in the work if you don't get any results at the end of it? And I remember working out and I never really liked it because like I didn't see the results. But once you start to see some progress and you start to see that growth a little bit, it becomes really addicting. And that's why getting past the first 2 months is the most important part. Because once you get past the first 2 months, you'll start to see a little change. Like it won't be anything like crazy. You won't be like yoked out of your mind, but you'll start to see like your muscles a little bit or it'll get like a little pump in the mirror. And once you get that, then you're going to be hooked. And something I would like to say also on top of this is just like, it's really just like the only thing we can really do. Like think about it, like 2 years is going to pass, 5 years is going to pass, 10 years is going to pass, and you're either going to be in the same spot that you are, or you're going to have that habit of working out. And if you have the habit of working out, you're going to be jacked and yoked. So it's like, which one do you want? And my guy in the comment section here has been here since like day 1. So thanks for watching the vids. But honestly, I'm gonna come through this screen, I'm gonna hack your IP address and come to your house and beat you up if you don't go to the gym today. What is one good thing that has happened to you outside of your fitness journey? Just having like a group of friends that you've been friends with for like 10, 12 years is like kind of amazing. If I had to pick one thing, I'd say like that's been pretty awesome. What was the hardest part of your recomposition journey? What I did was I did like a body recomposition. So like I just stayed at 180 basically, ate in a small calorie deficit and just kind of worked out in that stage. And I think it really like changes up for people, but for me personally, when I want to like lose weight, I do this strategy. I call it like procrastinate eating. You got how many calories in a day? I would just actively try not to eat. The thing is like eventually you're gonna break down and eat, but if you can just put that off until later in the day, your window for eating that food just gets smaller and smaller. I think I'd end up breaking down between like 12 and 4 o'clock. I'd get my calories in, but I would be in a deficit at the end of the day because I kind of procrastinated it. That chair is really squeaky, so we're gonna move into this one. Steve can have that chair. I decided to name my plant Steve after the last one burned alive. How long did it take for you to do a muscle up? Muscle up's a funny one because it's like, it actually doesn't take as much strength as you might think, but getting that technique down is really tricky. I remember I went to like the park and I went on this like swing set, and that's where I got my like first muscle up, and I was like, when I got it. It's a cool feeling when you like didn't know you were gonna get it and you like all of a sudden you hit it. It was a fun one. But I guess like starting from zero, like when I was like a cross country runner and I had no strength and I was doing pull-ups with a band, from that point all the way to when I got my first muscle up, it was probably like 2 years. But when I just started working out more, like I saw a lot of progress really quickly. And I think it's something you can get in relatively good time if you can just do like a couple pull-ups. I'd say if you have 5 pull-ups, it would take you like 6 months of training to get a solid one. And all I do to train for it is explosive pull-ups, weighted pull-ups, and occasionally negative muscle-ups. If you do that, you can just fly over the bar and you'll be floating. Do you play any video games or watch anime? If so, what are some of your favorites? I used to play 2K when I was growing up. I had like a big, so I would always be in the post, doing the post moves. And then when COVID hit, you know, Fortnite, because like Fortnite was fun. And that was like the most fun I've ever had playing video games, was like Fortnite during COVID. Oh man, if I could go back to those days, that'd be fun. But lately, haven't been playing any video games, just been focused on other stuff. I do like anime though. I like Naruto, and Blue Lock gets me hyped up. I'm 17 and a little overweight. Can I start calisthenics now, or should I wait until I lose some weight? I would start now. Well, losing weight is gonna help you because it's just gonna make all the exercises easier, but there's always something you can do. If you are a little bit overweight, just, you know, work on what you can. And that can be like simple exercises like push-ups, even like a variation of the push-up if you can't do a push-up. Start cracking into it, you know, chipping away. And I'm sure you're gonna start making progress and start doing some cool calisthenics skills in the future. Good luck with your workouts and training though. This is a good one too, because this is one that I struggled with. As a beginner, how do I not look stupid trying calisthenics? I just feel kind of silly holding poses and failing in the gym or in public. Valid, that's a valid question. When I started out, I was always in my backyard. So I would work out, I would go to the gym, and then I would come home and then I would start my calisthenics workout. And I did that so I wouldn't be at the gym. So I'd be practicing my handstand, my L-sit, all these skills I wanted to learn, I would practice them, and I would just keep working out. And once I got to the point where I had like a little bit of confidence, it kind of made it easier to just go into the gym and do these weird, wacky things. But I definitely understand it, because I like had like gym anxiety when I first started, like just going to the gym. Now I gotta do all these weird exercises and make people, and all these people are gonna be staring at me. But if you really just think about it, everyone's just thinking about themselves at the gym. You know, like spotlight effect, we're all like, oh, they're thinking about me, but they just don't care. So just think about the worst outcome, like what would that be? Like they just like don't like you, or they're like, oh, look at that dude doing a handstand. Weirdo. I don't think people really think like that. And it's kind of hard to like stop caring what people think, but you can like kind of mitigate it and be like, you know, I want to learn this handstand, so I'm gonna do it. And focus a little bit more on like what you want and a little bit less on what someone else's opinion is, and just kind of go for it. I don't know if that's gonna help, but I always try to catch that when like that happens. It's like, oh, I'm only doing this because of what they think. Okay, well, I care about my opinion more than I care about theirs. And then just kind of go. Because at the end of the day, everyone sucks at something when they first start. So like, who cares? Cool people would have only respect for someone who's trying to do something. But yeah, I agree that it's like a tough thing to do. Don't know if you got anything out of that, but good luck. Do you still train the handstand push-up? Do I still train the handstand push-up? Yeah, I still train it, but I've only gotten it one other time. I got it like so good the other day, where I went like, it was slow and controlled, hit my forehead, went back up like that. That's slow. And of course I got it off camera. So I'm still working on it, and I'm trying to get it consistent. How would you rate the calisthenics skills from easiest to hardest? I'm just gonna do the ones that I know how to do, because I'm like, obviously there's harder ones like the Maltese and like the Victorian or whatever, but like I'm not like a freak of nature, so like I'm not gonna be able to talk about those. For me, in my opinion, the hardest ones are the one-arm pull-up, the handstand push-up, the human flag, front lever. Yeah, that's how I'd rank it. And the hardest one that I've been training for that I can't do is the planche. It's tough. When you go into like these exercises, you think like, oh yeah, give me a couple weeks, I'll have that one down. I remember being at like 185, and I was like, oh, I think if I slim down to 180, I can totally get this planche. And at the time I was holding the tucked planche for like 3 seconds. So I really don't understand how I'm so naive constantly. Some of these exercises just take a long time. They're hard. The planche is one that takes years, I think. I'm gonna keep training it, because I think it'd be kind of sick if I hit a straddle planche. And it has improved. It's gone from like not being able to hold myself up in a ball to like now I can do this. Yeah, so I pretty much have it down. I think if I just cut a little bit of weight, I can get there. Next question. What are your favorite hobbies? I actually really want to do more hobbies. Like I want to get like into like crocheting. But right now my favorite hobbies are watching TV, books, and going for walks. Do you wear a durag, or the waves just show up like that? No, I don't wear a durag. All natural, you know? It just kind of looks like that when my hair is like shorter. They just kind of go like boop, boop, boop. It's kind of funny how it looks like that though. It makes me kind of want to wear a durag, honestly. I mean, like, wonder what they'd look like if I just like went all out, just started brushing it, and like, I might have to buzz my hair and do that. Do you put product in your hair, or is that the natural state of it? Looks good. Thank you. Yeah, it's the natural state. As a fellow tall guy, 6'4", I've been hesitant to seriously take up calisthenics since I feel a bit discouraged knowing there are many exercises I simply won't be able to do because of my height and physics. I see you achieving advanced progressions though, and am wondering what advice tips you have for specifically tall guys wanting to take up calisthenics. Yeah, I got some advice. Like being tall and you're doing like these bodyweight exercises, it just kind of makes it harder because, you know, the focal point or whatever, I don't know, physics makes it more difficult. But at the same time, the way I like to like think about it is like it just looks that much more majestic when a tall person does it. And that's what kind of keeps me motivated. People focus on like, oh, I'm not going to be able to be like the best in the world or something like that. But you can get better and you can improve. And you just focus on yourself and focus on where you've gone from and where you're going. And I think that's the way to go. And if you get caught up on like the result, whether it's like anything you're doing, like for a YouTube channel, I kind of compare myself. I'm like, oh, I'm never going to be like a 10 million sub channel. But if I just keep improving and focus on like what I'm doing, I can do well for myself and make things that I'm proud of. And you can do workouts and achieve things that you're proud of. And then I got this question too, and I get it all the time. I'm 6'3", 185 pounds. What do you do for a living and is it stable? Currently, I'm just making YouTube videos. Is it stable? Right now, like I'm making like $2,500 a month. I mean, that's not for me. I don't really need anything. I'm pretty minimalistic. But yeah, it's definitely not like a guarantee or anything. It's a little stressful. And the most I've ever gotten was like 4,000. And that was when I had like 2 videos get like over 1 million views. A lot of it's my fault though. Like I don't like putting advertisers on my videos. When you get to like a certain amount of like subs, you start getting emails from like advertisers and stuff like that trying to sponsor your videos. And I've only done 1 so far. I don't know, maybe I should like throw it in there because it'd be nice to like have money, but because they pay you like a good chunk of change. So maybe I'll like throw a few in the future, but I'd rather just have my own product and sell that, like sell something that I really believe in, than put some like sponsor on my page. And the money that YouTube pays me is enough to, you know, pay my rent and pay for what I got right now. So as long as I got that cooking for a little bit, I think I should be good to, you know, get something else running and under my belt. It's not really stable, but it could be, and it is a viable option if that's something that you're into, but it does take a lot of work if you want to like, you know, make money online. There's all these different avenues that you can make money through, and your videos is the most important thing, so like that's the first thing to focus on, but after that, then I can go into these other avenue streams. I haven't really cracked the code on all that yet though, but I really do want to make it a career or make money through the internet a little bit more. In the future, one of these days. What mic do you use? I also wanted to start content creation, but I need your guidance. Okay, my Padawan, class is in session. I get this question a lot. We're just gonna do a little like in-class YouTube sesh here. So what do we need to do to grow a YouTube channel? So we need to go from 0 subs, 1 million. Personally, I'm not there yet. I'm just gonna show you the journey that I've been taking though. And to do this, we need to post. But what do we post about? We need a niche. We need to know what we're posting about. And that requires some thought, but the way that you kind of find your niche is just by posting what you like. Post about your interests. To have motivation and to go after the things you really want, you have to kind of have your heart aligned with it. So like post what your heart is into and things that interest you. And if you're not like an expert on that topic, talk about your process and how you're learning it. Because with every post, you're gonna be getting closer and closer and closer to like your niche. And once you have a few posts, now people can see like, oh, this dude's channel is cool. And once they see that this dude's channel is cool, then they're gonna subscribe because they have evidence that you post cool stuff. And then they can be like, oh, he's gonna post cool stuff in the future. That whiteboard wasn't really doing it for me, but really simply put, you just start posting. Once you start posting, you'll start to see what works, what doesn't work. You'll start to see what kind of content you like, what kind of content you don't like, and you kind of mix those two. So it's a mixture of what the market wants. So by looking at like trends and stuff like that and seeing like what works, what doesn't, and then it's also like what you want to create, and you kind of mix those two together, and then you kind of go with the flow and see what's working, and you kind of find your niche and see what works for you. As for the YouTube video itself, the first thing you need is like a title and a thumbnail. And once you have a really good one of those, you can move to the intro. And the intro is really important because that's where people decide whether to keep watching or not. And if you can get them into your first part of your video, they'll normally like commit to watching the whole thing. But if you can't like entice them to watch your video in the beginning, they're just gonna click off, and that's gonna hurt your watch through. And just as important as that is the thumbnail. Lately I've been like lazy with my YouTube channel because I was like gonna quit, so like I haven't really been taking it too seriously. But the thumbnail is like pretty important, and a lot of it's psychology. So like when you're making a thumbnail, you wanna make it geared towards like
curiosity and like having them click it. When you make a thumbnail, you should be thinking like, why would someone click this thumbnail? For instance, one of my best thumbnails was my shoulder video. It's like a split down the line. On this side, it's my before picture, and on this side, it's my after picture. You want to keep it really simple, and you want it to be like them seeing the thumbnail and be like, oh, okay, I want to click that. And the reason that one works is because when they see Arnold press and they see how it like is portrayed as it doesn't work, they're gonna think, oh wait, the Arnold press doesn't work? I've been doing that forever. I gotta find out if that's working or not working. That's one reason they click. Or there's another person who's like, this dude doesn't know what he's talking about. The Arnold press works. Then they click. And if you can get them mad or you can get them curious, they're gonna click regardless. And then you just have to deliver on your video and make sure that your video is good, starting with that intro. With that intro, it has to be really quick and to the point, and you have to tell them everything that's gonna be in the video and also tell them why you're qualified for talking about it. So I just kind of give my transformation, be like, I went through it, and this is how I did it. The muscle up was quite the challenge to learn, but I did it. Here's how I did it. That's how I go about intros, but they're different for entertainment videos. And that's the thing, like there's a huge difference between educational videos and entertainment videos. Entertainment videos are like way harder. They look fun and like all this stuff, but there's a lot of competition out there. You really gotta like be like all in if you're gonna do that. And there's competition out there for educational videos too, but a lot of these people just focus more on the education and less on like the video part. And if you can focus on the video part, when you're giving the information, you're gonna be so much better off than all these other people. Like you can put yourself ahead of even the smartest people in the world because the smartest people in the world aren't focusing on the right things. They're not focusing on the video and the packaging of that information, which is what they should be doing. It's like you're going to the grocery store and you see 2 protein bars. They're both the same exact ingredients, except for one not only tastes better, but it also looks better. Which one are you gonna pick when you're walking through the aisle? The one that tastes and looks better. So when someone's scrolling through a page and they see a YouTube video, both have the same information, but one looks better, has a better thumbnail and title, and one tastes better, it has good pacing throughout the video, it's funny, and it does its job by giving the information that it promised. I guess that's my advice. It's like candy bars. And then it's also like a business and you have to give value, whether that's entertaining or educational. Try your best to think about the person on the other end, the person that you're making the videos for, and try to like boil your little plan down. Because a lot of times when you're like, I'm gonna reach the masses, it's a little bit difficult, but if you're like, I'm just gonna help this one person and I'm gonna try to do it in the best way I can and then package it in the best way I can, that's the best way to think about it, in my opinion. At least that's what I've learned over the past like year doing the whole YouTube thing. As for the mic, it's a DJI wireless. And also the idea is really important. The idea is probably the most important thing. If they can't see that they can like get a result from something, or if they can't see that this is gonna be like super entertaining, they're not gonna click it. For instance, I made that video about me going to Home Depot and buying shower hooks. Phenomenal video, if I do say so myself. It was the most random thing in the world. There's snowmen shooting guns, but whatever. But the idea matters, that's the thing. Like if I was gonna make a video about like a lesser known calisthenics skill, like a L sit to handstand, that's gonna get significantly less views than if I just did a beginner's video, because there's more beginners in the world, more people interested in that topic, more people click. If you're making a video about shower hooks, like it might be a great video, but it's about shower hooks. So make your video about something that people actually care about, and then be consistent. Just know it's like a long haul thing, and like to be honest, out of all the calisthenics skill things I learned, growing my YouTube channel has been harder than all of those. So it's just not an easy thing. But if you're really committed and you want to do it, then you just gotta find your space on the internet and how you can win. Okay, now I'm just gonna get into this. So how can you win? If you think about it, for me, like, what is my advantage? I can do handstands, I can do calisthenics skills, I'm jacked, I'm ginger. All these little things, they might seem like minuscule, but you can use them in your content to make your content better. You just gotta show your value. Like you have skills and you know things and you can provide value for people. And you can do it in a way that's better than a lot of other people because you have talents that they don't have. And it's all about like showing those talents. It's really just about showing your value and like just going for it. Okay, what do you geek out? That one's funny, okay. What do you geek out over besides health, fitness, basketball, and shower hooks? Okay, first off, what else do you need in life? Shower hooks, basketball, working out. Like sign me up. But I guess I do nerd out over a few other things, like goal setting and stuff. Like I'm really into like, not necessarily like manifesting, but I do think there's like a huge power in like writing something down and then like focusing on it, you know? I'm really into like habits and stuff. So like, you know, like time blocking and like having my habits all set up. So I'm like, I also geek out over anime hard styles, I guess, and just motivational hard styles. I just like to like go through my workouts like this. So, you know. Depending on the playlist, it makes me feel like a villain or a superhero when I work out, and I like that. It's kind of nerdy, but you know, it is what it is.
I'm also like really into whiteboards. I'm like a whiteboard guy. They're awesome. I don't know. I guess I could show you my whiteboard. What the heck? I might as well. I didn't want to do this because I don't want people thinking I'm weird, but I think we're kind of past that point, so we're just gonna go with it. I have this down to a science. This board you see is gonna take me to victory. It's like my day kind of mapped out. I have like a little time for everything, and they're basically just rules that I really want to follow. I won't get into the linguistics of all this, but I like to have my day like here and structured so I can like have something that I want to follow. It never goes to plan. But I'm trying to do a little bit better. Also been trying to do some like, trying to work on like inner work. It's crazy how much of like just your beliefs will totally affect or ruin your progress. So like if you have like good beliefs and stuff like that, it's just gonna empower you to go after stuff, and like you'll get better results because you just kind of like believe in yourself a lot more. But if you're hesitating or doubting yourself, it's just gonna show up in your work. I've been doing that a little bit too much, so I've been trying to work on that too. What was the question again? I think it's time to move on to the next question. How long have you been training for? How does your workout split look like? Push-pull leg split, and I just sprinkle in like calisthenics wherever I can, kind of listen to my body and like just try to do that. How long I've been training? It's probably been like 5 years now. I think, yeah, it's been like around 5 years, 6 years. It's crazy how fast like time passes, Have you ever done gymnastics, and what sports do you play? Well, I have never done gymnastics. The ones I did like my senior season were cross country, basketball, and track. But throughout childhood and like all that stuff, I did baseball, I did football too. For track, I did the high jump. I got like 6'1", I think was the best I got in high jump. And then I did a mile. 4:47 was the best mile I got. But I always like puked like during the race, or I'd get nervous to the point where like I would like feel like I was puking, and it totally held me back. I could have got a 4:30. I just like put a lot of pressure on myself. I just couldn't handle it. Same thing for cross country. I ran like 16:50. I probably could have ran faster for my 5K. And then basketball, I dropped 2 9-bombs, 2 9-point games. It was pretty sick. Basketball, like my junior year, I didn't really play at all. I was like the 6th man in my senior season, 6th or 7th man. I was just guard. I played basketball. It was fun. I got a Ballislife Mixtape too, if you want to check it out. They totally messed up the name, and they forgot to name it after me, and they said it's like Jordan McCabe drops like 30-point triple-double. But yeah, I slide into frame. I was a hooper, but if I would have been like athletic like I was in college, it would have been so much fun. I would have been just throwing down on people. But I just had to be a late bloomer. Okay, what was your origin story for choosing to start calisthenics is the next question. My origin story. My origin story. Okay, it's kind of lame. I feel like I have a cool origin story for like why I started to work out. I kind of wanted to like prove someone wrong, and I got like made fun of a little bit, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna get jacked, and I'm gonna, yeah. So my calisthenics origin story. I was just going on a couple dates with this one girl. I don't know, it got brought up, and then she like showed me this video of this dude doing this, like, you go like this, and then you pop up into a handstand, and I was like, that's kind of cool. I could totally do that. And then I just started looking more into calisthenics and stuff. It started popping up on my Instagram, and I was like, this is cool. And I just started trying it. I just started doing handstands and stuff. I didn't end up going on another date with that one girl. I just ended up getting like really obsessed with like calisthenics and like handstands and YouTube. I just kind of got obsessed with it. I already loved before and afters, but like calisthenics, I was like really tracking my progress, and I was like, this is sick. That origin story is not that cool. I feel like I have a pretty cool origin story for why I went to start working out, because I was like in the hallway, and this dude, he like went past the line. When you like say something disrespectful, like it's cool because like in your high school, like I had thick skin, like I got like, I wouldn't say I got bullied or anything like that, but like, people gave me a hard time. And I got like drowned in like freshman gym class and stuff, but it was like more in like a loving way, But sometimes when someone says something in like the tone of voice and like the way they say it, it's just utter disrespect. And I had that happen to me in like in the hallway in my one class when we were doing like this group project. And I didn't really like stand up for myself. I should have like fought the dude. And I don't believe in like violence or anything, but like sometimes you just gotta like, put your foot down a little bit. And I did not put my foot down at all. I just like let it happen. And I remember being like really upset with myself that I just kind of sat there and like I didn't do anything about it. I just kind of like maybe said a few comments back, and that was it. So I just started working out, and I was like, like this is what I do now. Like I work out now. I'm gonna show up like 5 days a week, and that's what I did. I started going to the gym 5 days a week until I got a little bit stronger, and after that everything changed. Yeah, and then there was also like,
I was in this alleyway, and then someone shot my parents, and then I had to like protect the city and stuff like that. Fend for myself. This butler started looking after me, and I started to just conceal my identity and go around saving the city. So I ended up spending a lot of time at my bat cave and just like learning calisthenics there. Hey Colin, love the content, keep it up. One question I have is, how do you combat days when you really just don't feel like working out? I'm early in my fitness journey, and this seems to be one of my biggest struggles. Thank you so much. Okay. We're talking about working out now. Yeah, I get this question a lot. They're like, I just don't feel like it. A lot of people are just like, just do it anyway. Discipline. Go to the gym regardless of how you feel. I guess there's like a nugget of wisdom in there, you know, like doing things when you don't want to do it is good. Although if we can make the system that we have set up in a way where we're encouraged to go to the gym even on those days where we don't feel like it, I feel like that's the best way. Before I work out, I have like a little ritual that I do that I look forward to, and it helps me kind of ease into that process. So like I want to go to the gym because I have my little ritual that I do, and then I go inside of the gym, and I'm inside the gym, and let's say I don't feel like working out or doing anything, I'll probably like pedal on the bike for 5 minutes, maybe do like one exercise and just leave. So like if I don't feel like working out, I just leave. But the thing is, I go to the gym every day. Like it's a part of my routine. So like I'm always at the gym, and sometimes my workouts, they're like really long, and sometimes my workouts are like 2 seconds. Like I'll go to the gym, walk inside, and then just turn around and leave. But if you think about it, if I go to the gym every single day of those 7 days, even if I have 3 days that are bad days where I just go in there and don't get a good workout in, I still have 4 good days of working out. So sometimes I have to like switch up my routine and change things up depending on if I like skip a day or something. But it's kind of like a hack in my opinion, because I personally believe that the habit of working out is like way more important than the workout. So just by showing up to the gym, you're just giving yourself a huge advantage. Discipline to me is like starting the task. And once you've started the task, if you want to like stop or you're just not feeling it, then I feel like it's totally okay to do that. Just come back the next day. Like there's that one quote, 90% of life is showing up. My mom would always tell me that all the time. And it's like 100% true. You just gotta keep showing up. Because it's like those bad workouts, they don't seem like much, but just that process of going is like huge. Next question. If you were to pick 5 exercises that you would do every day to get that God-like body, what would you do? 5 exercises every single day. Well, the main 3 I would do would be pull-ups, and that's number 1. And then push-ups, and then squats. And if you just do those 3, you'll be pretty much set. Some other ones I would also add in would be pike push-ups and inverted rows. If you just progress in those and work on those, you'd get pretty milky. That's my 2 cents. As a former cook, what's your best horror story or story in general from the restaurant industry? Yeah, I mean, I got a few. I have some respect for the business though, so I'm not gonna say the horror stories. I'll give like a bad customer experience story. I feel like that would be cool. So like my worst experience with a customer was I was taking their order and they ate their entire burger. And then they're like, this burger was disgusting. This burger was so gross. Like, it literally didn't taste like the menu said it was gonna taste. I was like, sorry to hear that. and then they were like, well, you're gonna go give me a discount? And then I was like, but you ate the burger. And then they're like, well, you're gonna give me a discount? I don't care, it didn't taste good. And then I was like, but you ate the burger. And they're like, it was disgusting. I was like, but you ate it. and then they were like, I want to speak to your manager. And there was no manager at the time because we were like in between managers. So it was just me. So I did one of those spin arounds. I am the manager. And that didn't work out well because they were just like super pissed. I didn't know what to say. I was like, I just kept telling them, I was like, oh, that's just how it is. And then she was like, fine, I'm gonna take it out of your tip then. I was like, go for it. And then she took the POS system and she said, it hit no tip right in my face. And then I started swinging. I'm just kidding. I didn't care. It was a good story, but like, I need to get better at storytelling. There's more to it. I took like a 5-minute break and now there's like a few more comments that just got added. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it through all this, but I'm gonna give it my best. When starting out, how long should training take? And how much should that time ramp up in the future? Yeah, and like I said, it's just showing up. It's what I'd give for that advice as well. You know, if you're just showing up and you do something, then you're moving forward towards your goal. If that means like a 15-minute workout, as long as you're getting something in and like working towards improving that, I think that's what it's all about. What did you study in college and what made you start creating YouTube videos? I went to college just because like everybody else was doing it and my parents told me to do it. All my like siblings did it. So I went to college, undecided. Looking back, I probably wouldn't have gone. It would have saved me like, you know, $20,000 in debt. But I was undecided for a year, then I took a little semester break and just worked. And then I went back to school, but I went as like a firefighting thing. So like we did this like firefighting program, and like they suit you up in gears, and you have a hose and everything, and you go down and you like just like take out the fire and everything. They really get into it. It's actually like a pretty awesome program, and like you like go in there and you put out fires, and you like, it was awesome. They also had like some of the like best workouts I've ever had in my life, because they would put you in the gear and then you'd go through these circuits where you're like holding a ladder over your head and then you're like swinging an axe. Brutal. And when you're in these little things, you know, like the gas mask thing, you cannot breathe. It's so tough. That's actually when I started to get into pretty good shape too, was when I just started doing that. But that wasn't for me, so I ended up switching to just regular classes again at the community college. But to be honest, the only reason I did that is because I wanted to play basketball, and I ended up just like not showing up to my classes. Like I was there for a whole year, but I would show up. This is really stupid. This is really stupid, but I saw that video of like Mr. Beast. He was like, yeah, I just like dropped out of my classes and then just worked on my YouTube. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna burn the bridges. I'm gonna just not show up to my classes anymore, and I'm just gonna work on starting a business online or something like that. I told my parents I would be going to school, and I'd bring my laptop, which it was a really crappy laptop, so I couldn't really do much on it, but I was dedicated. I set up an Instagram page, and I had already been like building it for a little bit. I think I had 100,000 on my Instagram, and it was just like a motivational quotes page. So I thought was like, okay, I'm gonna find a product and I'm gonna sell them t-shirts. And my goal is to sell t-shirts to my page. And I was like, this is foolproof. This is gonna work. Started learning how to like do print on demand via like Shopify. So that's what I did every single day. But then when the t-shirt thing just totally didn't work out and I didn't sell anything, I was like, okay, I'm probably gonna have to drop ship. The product is the problem. So I tried learning how to drop ship. I got it all set up. I was gonna drop ship a sunshine alarm clock, which is honestly something that I really love. My alarm clock, that's another thing I'm pretty nerdy about, my sunshine alarm clock. Anyways, I was gonna drop ship that. I got it all set up, but then it like took like 2 months just to get to my house, and it was like, yeah, this isn't gonna work. So I was like, dang. I mean, I just kept learning and stuff, but then I ended up watching Naruto for the first time. So what was supposed to be not go to class, work on a business, ended up turning into not going to class and just watching Naruto. And this might sound crazy, but I feel like it was a good decision. Because I don't really want like a career or job. It's not something I really desire. But at the same time, like money's really important. And if you don't have it, you're kind of screwed. So it's like, I don't know. And I wasn't able to sell like a t-shirt at all. And eventually made up my YouTube channel and stuff. I had all those skills from when I like had that failed Instagram page. So I was able to make my like little merch shop in like 5 seconds. And I was able to sell some t-shirts with that. And I was able to grow my YouTube channel because I had like the same principles that I learned from growing my YouTube page to like 200,000. And that's just like another example of like how like, oh, I just totally failed at this thing, but you know, it wasn't all for nothing because I like learned something out of it. And I guess that's really what matters, you know? Looking back, I probably just wouldn't go to college. That was probably the smart move. And I thought it'd be super easy to be like an entrepreneur or something like that. I don't know why, but it turns out like that's like way harder than it seems. So I don't really know. Just thinking fly is pissing me off. I basically was just pretty much focused on basketball, and I was like, it's a little community college team, but it was like all I had in life. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just like play basketball. This is gonna be just fun. Didn't really have a lot of direction and stuff like that, but I figured if I just had something to look forward to, life would be like worthwhile. So for me, like my little community college basketball team was like the only thing I had to look forward to. So, and when that went away, then it turned to calisthenics, and then that's turned to YouTube, and that turned to, and I just think that like having something to look forward to, if you're in like a time where like, you know, you don't got a whole much going for you, I think that's what it's all about. It's just finding something that you can look forward to. I think calisthenics is one of those things. And there's always something to look forward to, and there's always room for you to grow and improve. And it affects every area of your life in a positive way. Because once you believe in yourself that you can do something, it just goes and it has like a ripple effect. Because once you learn one thing, you can learn another, and it just keeps going and going. And then you're gonna be looking good. You're gonna be lean and looking good. Yeah, so what did I study in college? I didn't. and I didn't start my YouTube journey until like, I was like, okay. I was thinking of that one quote where it's like, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? And then I kind of thought about it. I was like, I guess I would like make YouTube videos and do it with my face and like then try to do that. And then I was like, okay, let's do it. And I just set up the camera. Like I just tried my best to like do what I could, and slowly you get better. And that's kind of where it all started for me. What does your workout routine look like, and what do you eat? Push-pull leg split, sprinkle calisthenics, take away a few exercises in the push-pull legs routine, and then I eat mostly 3 foods at the moment. This switches up. I get like really into some foods, and then I just like eat them, and that's like the only thing I eat. Currently, I eat protein bar, Greek yogurt, and then I eat turkey and eggs, and then I eat another protein bar and Greek yogurt. You'd think eating a week of protein bars would stop me from eating them, but it's actually just kind of made things worse. I've been trying to kick it out of my diet, but other than that, it's pretty clean. I just eat like turkey and eggs, and sometimes oatmeal and like rice cakes. I also like to skip breakfast, so kind of shorten the eating window. Goals fitness-wise, there's only really like 2 things I want to do, and that would be like a straddle planche would be sick, but I'm gonna have to really dedicate myself to that. And then I also want to East Bay, in between the legs dunk. If you had to start from scratch with everything you've learned, what principles would you stick by? I'd boil it down to the 2 that have steered me right. The first one is like prove to yourself that you can do it. I mean, self-belief is really important, but sometimes we're just like not there yet. And the best way to kind of get that belief going is through action, in my opinion. So by taking little small actions and getting little bits of progress, you'll start to see little signs of growth, and you'll start to believe in yourself more and more. As you like start to believe and see that it's possible, you'll start to put even more effort in. But it all just starts with small actions in the right direction. And that's why I think it's important to like kind of like act before you're ready, and just to like go for it. That self-belief and that determination, it'll come along the way if you just show up. Which brings me to number 2, which is like 90% of life is showing up, and consistency is key. You know, like the consistent man always wins. So if you're just showing up every single day, you know, eventually you'll figure it out, or you'll get there. And something that I always have to remind myself is like, it's okay to like, you know, to mess up, or to take breaks, or to like totally like not succeed, you know? It's not all uphill, and whatever goal you're going after, like there's gonna be ups and downs. It's just how it is. And with that being said, the 3rd principle would just be do what you can. And that's how I go about like training or doing anything. It's like, what can you do? Maybe you don't have the energy to work out or something like that, but you could go for a walk. There's always something you can do. And I think by just doing what you can and working hard at that, eventually you just open up more possibilities for you to do different things that are even harder. I remember you did a video traveling to California by the number of pull-ups. Great determination and attempt, by the way. Did you ever end up going? Also, another question, do you like minimalism? Notice your background is quite minimalistic. Or were you just too busy focusing on workouts to decorate? Haha, thanks, Colin. Yeah. Thanks for your question. So, minimalism, I wouldn't say like I'm a minimalist, you know? I just like haven't really taken the time to like decorate my apartment. So I guess I'm not a minimalist. I'm just someone who like doesn't like having that much stuff, doesn't really need it. As for the pull-up vid, yeah, I failed massively. Yeah, my bad. I was supposed to like ask people for pull-ups, but I didn't know that that would be as like scary as it was. And I just totally failed. It was like out of my comfort zone, and I knew it was, and I just tried to like go for it. Yeah, that video tanked. It was not good. It was not my best stuff. And then I was also kind of like sad at the time, because I was gonna quit YouTube. Like that was just like my last like, oh, maybe I'll try making this video style, see if I like it or not. And it really wasn't fun to make. But I did end up going to California. I just drove. I was like by myself, and I just spent like a month in my van, just living out of my van. Just drove to California, went to Muscle Beach, did a muscle up. I recorded the muscle up, and then I just left back. And I just edited the video in Whole Foods and gained a bunch of weight, spent a bunch of money on the Whole Foods. And then I was sleeping on the side of this park for the majority of it. I was at Muscle Beach for like 30 minutes, so I pretty much just drove to spend 30 minutes there, and then I drove back. Also, like LA sucks. I don't know how people live there. Maybe the redwood trees are cool. I kind of want to go see that. Yeah, it was quite the experience though. People were like looking in my windows and stuff like that, because I didn't have any like coverings and stuff, and I was just sleeping in random parking lots throughout the month. And the homeless like situation is like really bad. I didn't know that because I'm from Wisconsin, so it's like very cold. It's nothing like what I saw when I went on the road trip. Like the only spots you can park are like kind of in that area, you know? I don't know if you've seen like Tyler Oliveira's content. He's like this guy who like wears a blue coat and he investigates a lot of this stuff. And I think that's a problem that's like pretty tough to handle, because it's like a lot of it comes down to like, you know, mental health issues and like substance abuse. I don't know, tough stuff. When did you start this fitness journey? Freshman year of high school, I was like running. I was really into running. So like all I did was run. And then my junior year, like kind of like the summer of that, I started to lift a little bit of weights. And then I really started getting into it senior year after cross country got out. Do you have a fixed exercise routine, or do you change it every day depending on what you want to learn? I try to stick to what I normally do, but a lot of times I often just switch it up. User blah, 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 blah. We have 5 questions. Where did you study or study university, college? Do you have a girlfriend? With such an amazing physique, you should have one. What was your motivation for starting all of these? Your favorite exercise? And the main question, do you play Minecraft? Okay, let's rapid fire through these 5. Where did you study? UW Oshkosh in Wisconsin. Undecided. And no, I don't have a girlfriend right now. My motivation for starting all of these, I just wanted to contribute. I think it's important to contribute in some way, even no matter how small that is. And for me, that was I could help out someone who was in my situation. So if I could do that, I figured that would be kind of awesome. My favorite exercise is pull-ups. And for the main question, I used to play it on my phone back in elementary school, but ever since then, I've never been a legit Minecrafter though. I wish though, because it looks so cool. And I see all those those things where they zoom out and all of a sudden it's this big massive block of awesomeness. And I really wish I could have made something like that one day. Pros and cons. Pros and cons, gym versus at home. Well, pros of the gym is one, the environment. When you're there, you're okay, I'm working out. And it's you're in the zone, which is really nice. And it gets underlooked. You also have the weights. You also have camaraderie if you have gym friends and stuff like that. Calisthenics. I mean, you can do calisthenics at the gym. I do it all the time. And then for at home, we have convenience. It's right there. You can also do your own thing. You can work out in whatever you want. I would be working out in PJs a lot, and I'd be working out in my cross country shorts on leg days. You know, those things that go all the way up here. I would just be staring at my thighs in the mirror, and it would be the first time I ever thought my thighs were big. It really just is preference. Opinion on calisthenic leg workouts. Personally, not a fan. I have weights available, so I just go to the gym. I also I'm trying to jump higher and stuff like that, so having weights is gonna help me do that. But if you don't have them available, you can still get it in. It's just about using what you have. And what's your go-to favorite quick and healthy recipe? I don't really have any go-to recipes. I kind of just eat turkey in a bowl and I put salt on it. I think it tastes amazing, but some people think that's bland or whatever. Do you incorporate weightlifting to your routine? And if so, how does that look? For example, is it better to target isolation movements or more like that? But yeah, I use weightlifting all the time to try and look good and stuff like that. I think isolation movements shouldn't be the main focus. They should just be thrown in there. Normally towards the end of your workouts, I would start with compound movements, like bench press and overhead press or squats. And then you can move into the isolation exercises after. How to increase your reps in various exercises if you hit a plateau. Okay, so for a plateau, the first step is to just keep going even when it's not working. The second step is to start changing your approach. For most people, I feel if they do hit a plateau, it's gonna be in their diet because that's normally the thing we kind of neglect. We can also just switch the training we're doing. Maybe we need a different style of training. Gotta switch it up, see what's working, see what's not working, and just kind of learn from it. Have you ever faced a tough injury due to lifting? How did you overcome it? I never had an injury from lifting. I had that one situation where I tried dunking and then I fell on my face. After that, I couldn't walk really well. I slept in a recliner for 3 days. And I had a hairline fracture on this arm, and then I fractured this wrist. And the way I deal with that is I just rested. I mean, you just gotta do what you can do. Once I could move a little bit, I think I went to the gym a week later. I was really happy that I was able to walk a little bit, so my lower body was working a bit. They had this one machine where all you had to do was hook it like this, and you had it on your shoulders. And I just started doing squats on that. And then I did the leg press and the easy machines. It really just boils down to doing what I could. You just do what you can until you can't. So I just worked on those and got leg workouts in 3 days a week or 2 days a week. And then rested up until I was healthy enough to go back in there. What are the supplements that you take? Creatine, and sometimes I take pre-workout, but creatine. I like this question. When you play basketball, are you usually a spot-up shooter or an energy defense guy? I wouldn't say I'm either of those, to be honest. Definitely not a spot-up shooter. And I'm solid at defense. I'm not a liability. Well, I'm definitely not a lockdown, I'm not like that. I'm more of a slasher. I had more dunks than I had shot attempts. I just get the ball high post, do a signature move. It's a double rip, and then I go left or right, and then I spin it off of it if they go that way. Put it up with that hand. Basically, I throw down. How much volume is enough for learning the handstand if I have the strength required? I was able to learn it just training it 15 minutes a day. The more you're upside down, the more comfortable you're gonna get upside down, and the better your handstand will be. I wouldn't think of it as like a requirement. I would just think about trying to get upside down as much as you can. Where would you live and why? Also, is it different from the place you would most likely visit? I'd probably live where I am right now. Going on that trip in the van really kind of showed me that where I'm at is like kind of awesome. I really like Wisconsin, and I'd probably stay here. The place I want to travel to most is the Dead Sea though, and just like float in the water. I just think it'd be so cool. Like you just float in the water and then you like rub mud on yourself and stuff. It looks like the coolest place in the world. So that's where I'd like to visit. I'm gonna try to speed through these. So I've been kind of lollygagging. What would you recommend doing between weight sets? Do you just rest and do nothing? Or do another set in between? So like, it depends. I mean, you can do a superset if you want and like just go back and forth. Personally, I just kind of like chill after my set. I really like to like go towards failure. So like I kind of get like exhausted after my sets for a little bit. Kind of need the time to just be like recover a little bit. Any advices you'd give to a guy who just started going to the gym without a personal trainer? Yeah, I'd say just, because I did that too. I would just get a workout program online, which I'm coming out with more when I'm finished this course thing on your phone, and you don't have to follow it through, but you just like have these exercises and sets and reps on your phone that you can see. Just kind of follow through that. And if you can't do all of it, just like do what you can. And just having that like little structure of like how a workout goes is really gonna help you like kind of know what you're doing in the gym. Because when I first started going to the gym, I just started doing random machines. It's better to have some structure. Best of luck with starting out though. What do you think about weighted calisthenics? Have you tried it? Just the pull-ups and dips? But both of those exercises are awesome. How do you build forearm strength? I really want to know. I think from doing handstands and from hanging on the bar, my wrist and my forearms have gotten pretty strong. But I've also done like deadlifts and like hang cleans and stuff. That's also going to be working your forearms too. Just doing it through other exercises, I guess. Do you ever get burnt out or demotivated? And if so, how do you deal with it? I definitely get this, like quite a bit. I don't know. I feel like when you get burnt out, it's like something's not right. Like your like heart's not in the right place. Like I got burnt out with YouTube because I just like didn't want to make the content that I was making, but I was forcing myself to do it anyways. I feel like sometimes you just have to take a step back and be like, is this what I really want to do? And if something's not right or something's not aligned, you kind of have to like give it a little bit of thought, redefine your goals or see what you're doing and kind of make adjustments. Because when you're clear on what you want and you like know that you really want it, it makes it a lot easier to go after the things that you're going after. And I've never really gotten burnt out with like working out or anything like that because it's something I enjoy. But it happens to me quite a bit with like the other stuff I try to do in my life. I guess my advice is to just make sure your goal is kind of aligned with what you want to do. But that's not the best advice in the world. And I would totally recommend that you read Ali Abdaal's new book, The Feel Good Productivity. That thing was fire. I should have answered these questions a little bit more like strategically. I'm kind of getting gassed out. Irish, yes. Do I have a gym crush? I used to at my old gym. How to get curly hair, genetics. Do you have knee problems? I've had jumper's knee before from jumping a ton. This question is really important, so take it seriously. Okay. Would you rather have unlimited bacon but no video games, or games? Unlimited games but no bacon. I have two things I gotta say to this. First up, bacon tastes really good. It does. It tastes amazing. I like straight up lost my PS4. Like I don't even know where it is anymore. So I'm gonna go with bacon. Honestly, I feel like that's a no-brainer. Okay, we got kind of like a streak of questions coming up here. Do you have a girlfriend and do you watch NBA? You are very handsome, Colin. Are you single? Do you have a girlfriend, Colin? Are you single? You're so handsome. How are you so cute? Are you single by any chance? Will my PP work at 11% body fat? Serious. Teach us how to get girls. Okay, so I guess this is like a hard-hitting question. I never really want to talk about this on the internet, but I figured I'll give it a go. No, it's like been the whole relationship thing's been something I've kind of struggled with. Just like growing up, I never was really good at it. I was like always a really quiet kid, you know, which kind of made it hard. And then I also wasn't very confident in like my appearance and all that stuff, which you might have picked up on in like the videos and stuff of me like, you know, recording my face and stuff. I didn't have much success with it at all. And I think I got my first kiss when I was like 19, which is a little embarrassing, but is what it is. And then, you know, I had college and parties and stuff. I did okay. But then just like going out and like meeting new people and stuff, it's just never been really easy for me. And then the times when like I did quit my job, like when I went on the trip in the van, and then when I just recently quit my job, like I just completely stopped talking to everyone and just like kind of balled myself up in my apartment. And I either like just worked on videos or I watched Netflix, and it was like not very healthy. But I've been doing better with it, and I've been putting myself out there lately. Been doing pretty good. As for advice, I wouldn't necessarily give advice on this topic, but I will say that it's a little bit easier now than it was. But I mean, I also look a lot better. It's kind of like crazy. Just even in like jobs and stuff, people will treat you better. And if you're struggling with it like I did, I would just say focus on yourself and like just kind of build yourself up and continue to like put yourself out there at the same time. You gotta like take your shot and shoot. That's something I struggle with. I like never shoot my shot. And like, if you don't shoot, you're never gonna make it. So you gotta stop passing the ball at a certain point and just go for it. And I also think that like self-love and like appreciating who you are and like just being like, and there's this one book I highly recommend for like anyone. It was like No More Mr. Nice Guy. Basically in the book, he was talking about like being perfect the way you are, just saying how like people are drawn to like imperfections and stuff, and nobody really likes someone to be perfect. Like perfection is not something that people are drawn to. They're drawn to, you know, the rough edges of something is what he was saying. Good book, really kind of made me like double take, because kind of my whole life I like kind of was like, I'm not good enough, not good enough, not good enough. I kind of hopped on that hedonic treadmill of like, if I can just get rid of my acne, then I can be confident and I can go for it. If I can just build muscle, then I can go for it. If I can just do this, then I can go for it. If I can just do this, I can go for it. And if you just keep doing that, you never go for it. Eventually you just gotta stop, and then you gotta take a shot. While we're on the topic, will my PP still work at 11% body fat? And it's actually a good question. When I was like the leanest I was working at the Mad Apple. This was actually before my YouTube channel. So I would like go work out for like 2 hours. I'd do like a few handstands, just totally fail because I couldn't really do them at that time. And then I would go to work, and I would work from like 4 to close. And then I would go to my friend's house and we'd play Sorry. And I wasn't eating much food at that time, and I was like super skinny. I was basically surviving off of the chicken tenders at work. But I was shredded. It did have a little bit of effect on my energy. I would play Sorry, and I would just like count the pieces, and they'd be like, dude, you pulled a 2. Why'd you move 12 spaces? I'll be, oh, my bad. I had to pull it back. Pick up a card on the discard pile and then put it right back on the discard pile. I was just out of it. Or I'd go to work. I forgot about this. I'd go to work and they'd be like, oh, can I get a refill on the water? I'd be like, yeah, sure thing. Just in one ear, out the other, just totally forget about it. I was so bad at my job. Okay. I did not get a lot of good complaints when I was at that body weight. I looked good though. But is having a six-pack worth it? Yes, it is. Maybe not like to the extent where you're like super, super skinny, but like it definitely is worth it. You get treated differently, you'll have more opportunities. I've personally just noticed that like how you look has a massive impact on how people treat you and how they perceive your ideas and how they respond to you. Not only does it open up doors, but it allows you to be more confident in yourself because you're like feeling good, looking good. And it only really bothers you if you get to like a crazy low body fat percentage. You can have a six-pack and be totally fine and have a ton of energy. Next question is just how. Just straight up that. I don't know what that means. Then we have, why do you do this? Just trying to contribute in my own little way. And then I also like to have like a little creative outlet kind of thing. So like for some like the little vlogs and stuff, it's just fun to create. And I'm trying to just get better at video editing and trying to get better at making videos. Are you religious? I grew up like non-dominational. Like I went to church and stuff. Then I read this one book by Mark Manson, and not The Subtle Art, but the other one. And it like really put me down in the dumps. It really made me so sad. It talks about like nihilism and stuff a little bit, just a small section of that book. And so now where I'm kind of at, after like a little reflection, a little low point, that was kind of when I went on my van trip when I read that book. I just kind of thought like, even if there is no meaning in life, I don't really want to think about that. I'd rather think about something that uplifts me. And I really do think that it's a little bit too crazy for there not to be something. So I do believe in like a higher power. And I think consciousness is like really crazy. Will you be my friend? Based on the profile picture here, we got a dude doing a human flag. So yeah, I'll be your friend, bro. Do you like squids? Squids are cool. The way they can like squeeze through rocks and stuff, even like the little tiniest like holes. Definitely like they might be extraterrestrial if we're being honest. So you watch anime. If you do, name your top 3. Naruto is probably my number 1. I'm a big Blue Lock fan. It just gets me hyped up, more so the AMSVs. And then number 3, just because it's fresh on my mind because I just watched it, would be One Punch Man. And Garo is like my favorite villain. Dude's so cool. Can you swim? Mm-hmm. How are you doing? Love your videos. You are great. Why are you so great? Man, some of these are just so nice, so thank you. Tips on how to stay mentally disciplined. I think of discipline as like self-respect, just by doing the little things for yourself. Even if you say like, I'm gonna do 100 push-ups, and then you go and you do the 100 push-ups, and just like doing what you say you're gonna do and holding those promises to yourself, I think it's really important, and I think it's just self-respect to yourself. So I don't really see discipline as a thing. I kind of see it as like, I'm doing this for myself. And oftentimes I wouldn't, and I don't live up to my word a lot of times. I just like say, forget it. But it's crazy how we'll be there for other people at like the drop of a hat, but we won't be there for ourselves. And that kind of makes me mad, and I just wanna like be there for myself. And I think if you just show up for yourself, that's huge. That's what self-discipline is. It's having self-respect for yourself, and that's kind of like self-love. I don't know my body fat percentage. Can I make physique like you at home with pull-up bar and dumbbell set? Yeah, I mean, that's all you really need to get a good physique at home is a pull-up bar and a dumbbell set. I mean, that's all PewDiePie has, and he's like jacked. This man is stuck at the 10th rep on his pull-ups. My advice for you is to just add weights. Add weights to your pull-ups. Switch it up to a lower rep range just for a little while, and then go back to those high rep ones if that's like your goal is to do high rep pull-ups. And I think you'll notice that since you've been doing it with weights, it's like just all of a sudden you start flying. Hi, do you feel a little uncomfortable when you upload videos where you have not been able to achieve your goal? If so, how do you deal with that feeling? I would like to be honest with my friends, and I'm afraid or embarrassed to say that I didn't achieve my goals. I mean, it's not like it's easy or anything. It kind of sucks. Like I want to like, you know, get the goal and stuff like that. I try to focus more on like, you know, I just tie my value to like, I work hard. You know, that's the thing that you can control is how hard you work, your effort. And if you tie your like value and stuff into the effort that you're putting in, the results don't matter, and you could be like the biggest loser in the world. You know that you're trying hard, and that's really all that matters. And the way I break it up with my like little system board, it has it so like I'm focusing on the process and not so much on whether or not I achieve the goals, because I know I'm going to get to the goals eventually if I just keep working at the daily process, because that's where the results come from. Although I get it, it's definitely like embarrassing. I also like keep my goals to myself for the most part, because it is a little bit embarrassing to like put yourself out there and stuff like that. And they can also like have negative energy and like kind of like throw you off your goals. I remember when I started working out, there's like some people who are like, why are you even working out? It's not gonna make a difference. And they were like, just kind of like casting like what happened to them onto you. But you just kind of do your thing and then have fun with what you're doing. That way it's not all about the goal. What keeps you going on hard days, like in life in general? Wow, we're getting deep. Life in general. I feel like this happens to everyone at some point, because like life just is like hard. I remember like when I was like serving, I was before my YouTube channel and stuff, I was just like serving. I just like dropped out of school, so I kind of felt like a loser because I just totally failed what I was trying to do. I like go through my day and I'd be like at work and I'd be like, this like sucks and I don't want to be here. And then I would go home, and I'm like used to being like alone and stuff like that. I spent like a month without talking to anybody in that van, and I spent like weeks like just like by myself. So like I'm kind of used to all that. So that gets painful too. But I think through all those times, like I always would be like, well, at least tomorrow I can work out. So like I have something to look forward to. And that used to be basketball for me too. Or it used to be cross country. Try to have something that's just like a rock for me, something that I can always look forward to. And for the longest time, it's always been some form of fitness, whether it's cross country or basketball or like calisthenics. Like I get a workout tomorrow. I'm totally gonna do this handstand for like 5 seconds. I'm totally gonna obliterate my chest tomorrow. It's gonna be so awesome. And that's like the first thing I do in the morning. I'm like excited to go there. I do my little ritual. I get like hyped up in my car. I go in, I have like fun, like working out. It's just, it makes life good when you have something to look forward to. And you know, it's never gonna be perfect, and it's always gonna like be like difficult. So I don't think it's something to avoid. I think having a goal, having something to go after is really important, because without that like purpose kind of thing, it can get dark. And I always try to like remember, you know, like it can always get worse and stuff like that, and try to be grateful. How to bulk up, eat peanut butter, eat foods that are calorie dense, and shove your face full of foods. What type of music do you listen to? I really like indie kind of campfire music, but then I also like the anime hard styles. You know, it's like a mood thing. That's like gym stuff, but mostly like indie, kind of peaceful. My 3 favorite songs are probably like Morocco by Moon Taxi, If I Can Dream by Elvis, and When the Going Gets Tough by the Growlers. Probably like my 3 favorite songs. Honestly, I lost my spot on this thing, and it's been like 3 hours now, so I'm gonna call it a day and edit this video. Peace.